tell you I've been a coach for 17 years is I have a story. And I just told one of our team members at Jen and I, we have is Julie back there. Yay, Julie.
Love
our
Julie.
Director. I have to tell you something that happened on Labor Day. True story. So my business partner, Pete, who couldn't be in here because the poor guy had to go to Italy and come back and now has jet lag. Oh, poor Pete. So anyway, I was at Pete's house, at his house while he was in Italy on a lake that's called Apple Valley. Has anybody ever heard of Apple Valley Lake? Have you? It's like an hour north of Columbus. It's a small lake.
It's like a golf course.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good job, Jess. So I'm out on the boat with the kids. Well, I should say I'm out on Pete's boat at Pete's house on Apple Valley, just driving. And we see a friend of ours along at the dock, and we had heard he had bought a house at Apple Valley. So we're like, oh my gosh, Ryan, it's so great to see you. So we get out of the boat, and as I see he's having a party like you would on Labor Day, so there's kids playing, and he's like, come on in, let me give you a tour. I'm like, absolutely. So we unload the boat, and we were going through his house, and it's beautiful. It has all these bedrooms and this kitchen, and as we're going through it, and he's saying, hey, here's my bedroom, and here's a guest bedroom, and here's the kitchen, and like, this is just so beautiful. And as we walked into the family room, I looked out, and as I looked out on the lake, I saw his 3 kids that at the time, which was like 2 weeks ago, so I don't think they've changed their age, were like maybe 4, 6, and 8. And I see his kids, and him and his wife are there. And I look around, and I burst into tears, because what you don't know is Ryan was one of my first clients 14 years ago. He has married, and him and his wife could not see eye to eye. She didn't want kids, he wanted kids. She was afraid of the water, he wanted to be on the water. She didn't like boats, he wanted a boat. She wanted to work in the business. Like, you could see there was a lot of conflict, right? He was starting his own company. He was 2 years in. So he had come to me, and we had done what in coaching is the first thing we do is called an alignment. So what you do is you get, whether it's a spouse and the business owner together, to figure out, where are we headed? What are we going to do? And why are we doing all of this risk? Why are we doing all this hard work if we don't know the destination? And we sat, and I'll never forget it, in that room, and we wrote on a whiteboard what we would do. It was at that meeting, and in that moment, I looked out and I started crying. He did too, and his wife came up, and we hugged, and I go, oh my God, you made it happen. And he goes, there's not a day goes by, Peg, that we don't remember that moment in that office, that you brought us together, and that you've coached us, and we've achieved this dream. And I was like, you know what? You know what coaching is? Coaching isn't about helping people get to that level. First figuring out what they want, then helping them in the journey to get there. And I just happened to be there that day in that family room. And what was funny is, what you don't know is I had my kids there and other people, and they're like, oh my God, like, why are you crying? Like, why are you like talking? I'm like, you don't realize. I got very emotional, because that's what coaching's all about. And that's what we do. And this is why we want your support, because here's the thing, at the end of the day, as we're looking at John, we don't have enough coaches. Because there's only so much, right, that one coach can handle. And we don't have enough great coaches to help people. So when I get to work with Jen, who is absolutely tenacious, she is tenacious, she is driven, she is determined, she is caring, and it's all of those qualities that she brings to a business to make sure that she has a Ryan in 13 years that sits there, and as we all cry, say we did it together. That's what coaching is. And when I got the privilege to get to introduce Jen, because Julie and I have gotten to work with Jen for the last few months, and I've got to tell you, out of all the coaches that I've worked with, and I don't say this lightly, Jen is the #1 coach, and she knows this. I'm not telling you anything I haven't. She is the #1 coach that I say, man, you're going to make a difference, and you're going to help a lot of people.